Hello there, my name is Adam Wills. I'm a third year student here at Erasmus University in the Netherlands, and in this video I'm going to break down some recommendations that I have for people who are looking for housing in Europe, and I'm also going to go through my story a little bit and break down some of the mistakes that I made so that hopefully you can learn from that. Okay, so my first recommendation for those who know that they're coming to Europe is to look for housing right now. Do not wait. Finding housing as an international student is not easy, especially in cities like Rotterdam, where it's quite a big city, metropolitan. There's a lot of competition, and homeowners tend to favor natives more than internationals, at least in my experience. So my recommendation is to look actively for as long as possible. There's lots of websites that you can just Google that are very easy to find, and sometimes they require a certain fee, like a one-time fee or a subscription fee, but it's really important that you make accounts with these websites and you find out where these websites exist in your respective country, because a lot of these websites give privileges to people who've had accounts for a longer amount of time. So for example, if two people are applying for the same house, the person who's had their account for 8 months is going to get higher on that list versus someone who's only had their account for 2 or 3 months. So it's really crucial that you find out what websites exist in your country and in your city, and you make accounts with them. Another reason why it's really important to look for housing sooner rather than later, aside from the fact that it increases your chances of getting a place to live, is also because it helps you to develop a good idea of what parts of the city are more expensive than others. And this helps you to really understand, where you're living, and you can get an idea of the city that you're going to before you even get there or when you're here. It just helps you, at least for me, it was really nice to sort of understand the layout of the city. And I think that's pretty important for an international student who's getting to know a new place. You want to make sure that you send messages to as many places as possible, just to leave your options open. I found that I would get rejected a lot. You have to sort of accept that that's going to happen a lot, and you just have to keep sending him and be persistent, and eventually it will come. A lot of times, depending on the place that you live, they'll invite you for what's called like a hospitality night. It's pretty straightforward. You just sort of show up, and you kind of have to almost convince these people to choose you over other people. But my recommendation, because for me it was a bit nerve-wracking the first time that I did it, you just have to be yourself, because living with people that you vibe with is really important. And if you're trying to impress them, or you're not really yourself, if they choose you, then they're picking someone that's not really who you are. And my recommendation, that's kind of basic advice, but just be yourself, because you want to live with people that you vibe with. I've heard a lot of stories of people who ended up living with someone that they didn't like, or they just got drama, or things happen in the house that just makes it difficult to live with those people. And I think it's really important that in those moments, you find people that you can vibe with, and you can just do that just by being yourself. But the first mistake that I made was that I didn't really know the city too well before I came here, and for that reason I had limited options, and I was forced to stay at a place that was way more expensive than a lot of places. I was paying around 700 euros a month, which is insanely expensive for this city, and for what I was getting, it just wasn't worth it. And I quickly realized that after a few months that I could easily move into a new place that was way cheaper. But I had a contract which forced me to stay there for 10 months. And eventually, I got really lucky with this place that I'm living in right now through Stadswonen, which is a very popular website here in the Netherlands. And I got really lucky. And now this place where I live, I pay under 500 a month. So it's a huge decrease from where I was living before, and I'm saving a whole lot more money by being here. I live with 6 Dutch students right now, and they basically saved me from being homeless, so you just really have to be on top of it and keep searching, and eventually it will come. Another thing that I want to bring to your attention for anyone who's coming to the Netherlands in particular, I don't know much about the other countries in Europe, but there's this government subsidy in the Netherlands called toeslag, which I'm probably botching that pronunciation, but basically it's a subsidy that the Dutch government gives to all university students. I personally get about 180 euros per month from the government for free, no questions asked. It's not a loan. I don't have to pay it back. They just give it to me because I'm a student, and they're giving us a little bit of extra money every month. And that for me is a huge help. So wherever country you're at, try to look into certain opportunities like that. If it's a country like the Netherlands where they're giving out these things for free, it's a much more equitable society over here. So wherever you are in Europe, try to look for opportunities like that, because those can be huge help. And for me it was. And for anyone who cares, is a quick video of the view from my room. I live on the west side of Rotterdam, And if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'll see you in the next one.